Hello, everyone. Big news coming out of the Israel Iran conflict. So, in the last few days, we have been seeing a lot of back and forth from Israel and Iran, both bombing the hell out of each other. But finally, now America has stepped into the fray, and with a bang. Reportedly, they have destroyed three nuclear sites of Iran. So, let's just quickly watch this news. This was shared by Donald Trump on X. He says that we have completed our very successful attack on the three nuclear sites in Iran, including Furdow. Furdow was the biggest one, I think. Natanz was the one where you had the Stuxnet virus attack in 2009, 2010, that time. And Isfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Furdow. Furdow, it's in the mountains. It's said to be around 90 meters deep underground, and it is near the historic city of Qom, which is on the southern side of Tehran. So, a full payload of bombs were dropped on the primary site, Furdow. Full payload means, I don't know, maybe 30,000 pounds or something like that, 40,000 pounds. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. So, yeah, it's done. Yeah, so the Iranian radio and television reported that the damage was limited to only two tunnels, the entrance and exit of Furdow. Okay, let's see the video. So you can hear the explosions and you can see a little bit light right there. Yes. But you don't see too many huge explosions because obviously the explosions were probably happening underground because this Fordo site is an underground site. Like I said, almost like 90 meters deep underground. Uh, it's situated in below a mountain. So this video was shared by OSINT, Open Source Intel. So Fordo wasn't just another nuclear site, it was Iran's most protected one. Built in secret starting in 2006. So, built in secret starting in 2006, it took 6 years to complete and became active in 2012. Buried under 90 meters of rock near Qom, it was made to survive airstrikes and even bunker busting bombs. So, the media is saying that the Americans dropped six bunker busters. So, six, maybe two on each sides. 30,000 pound bombs, two of them. But this is saying that they can even survive bunker busting bombs. If so, then was it like a special munition that was made specifically for this mission? The site cost up to $1.7 billion, but for Iran's nuclear ambitions, it was worth far more. Let's quickly watch the video. So this is Fordo site. Yeah, right underneath the mountain. Yeah, that's the site. UF6 containment unit. Okay. Enrichment facility. Backup power supply. Control room. Separation offices. Okay. So notice this 2 into IR6, 6 into IR1s. So these are centrifuges. These are cascades of centrifuges where you have the centrifuge is basically a tube. IR6 is an advanced centrifuge used by Iran for uranium enrichment. If you look at yeah, so these are the cascades of centrifuge. Even the Natanz facility has something like this before it was destroyed. A lot of it was actually destroyed by uh, the Stuxnet attack. This happened in 2009, 2010, that time. So as you can see, massive, just rows and rows of these tubes. Here, one more. You can see how many. So these centrifuges that you see over here, these are these 4 centrifuge cascades that you see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So over here they have IR6 cascades, 6 IR6, IR1 cascades, sorry, 6 IR1 cascades, and over here they have IR6, 2 rows of IR6 cascades. Iran has deployed IR6 centrifuges at Natanz and Furdow enrichment facilities. They are used in cascades to enrich uranium to various levels, including 20% and 60%. Okay. So that's the site. But now it's gone. This is one of the biggest blows to Iran's nuclear program. So the Iranian radio and television reported that the damage was limited to only 2 tunnels, the entrance and exit of Furdow. However, Sean Hannity just said that a reliable source told him that Iran's Furdow nuclear site isn't just damaged, it's gone, not crippled, erased. Okay, let's hear him out. Okay, so US dropped 6 bunker buster bombs on Furdow. 6 bunker buster bombs, okay?
Let me give you a little bit more detail. I'm being told now from a reliable source that Furdow, they believe it is gone. They believe that it has been wiped out. And again, we had discussed earlier in the week the possibility of not 1 but 2 bunker buster bombs. Again, 30,000-pound bombs being necessary to take out that one deeply buried facility. I can put clarification on Natanz and Isfahan, the other 2 facilities that you were referencing and discussing. The 30 Tomahawks from a submarine over 400 miles away took out the remainder of the sites. It was believed, the assessment was that the Israelis had taken out about 75% of those sites. So it was basically completing the mission that had begun with Israel on those other 2 locations, just to give you clarification.
USA dropped 12 GBU-57. Okay, so now it's 12 over here. 12 GBU-57. GBU-57 is also called the MOP, the Massive Ordnance Penetrator. So, or the bunker buster. Yeah, fair. So let's see this video real quick.
At the moment, the penetrating bomb is dropped from the aircraft. It can rely on its powerful kinetic energy to continue drilling down in the direction of the sharp warhead, just like a nail being driven into wood, without detonating immediately. At the same time, because its casing is made of high-strength materials, it can protect the internal structure from damage during impact. In order to achieve precise strikes, the delay fuse at the back serves to delay detonation until the penetrating bomb reaches the set depth, at which point it will detonate the explosives according to specific instructions. This design not only destroys enemy underground factories or laboratories, but also minimizes excessive damage to surface targets.
You know, it's like, doesn't matter how much progress we make, I mean, by we, I mean humanity. Doesn't matter how much progress humanity makes, we will always find better ways of killing each other. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, he says, America has bombed Furdow, Natanz and Isfahan nuclear facilities. Yeah. Turns out the bombing was not carried out by B-2s we were tracking. Those were diversions. Oh, this is some spy novel shit going on, right? Deception was the key. No information leaked from the Pentagon on what the targets would be, not where the B-2s were departing from. 30,000-pound bunker busters dropped on Iranian nuclear sites. The B-2s are out of Iranian airspace. Let's have a look.
Jen Griffin at the Pentagon, I know working the phones, sometimes phones mid-live shot, as getting more information about what has transpired here. Jennifer, thoughts?
Well, Brett, I think, yes, so my phone has been literally ringing off the hook. But what I would say is that it's notable how much deception was involved in this operation. All eyes were looking west towards Guam and the B-2s that took off late last night towards Guam. It's possible that, but if the distance there would suggest that the B-2s may have also flown east from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Remember, the air refuelers, many of them were placed in Europe and across the Middle East, and that is what is known as an air refueling bridge. And all of those B-2s would require much air refueling in order to make it round.
So the distance, like the Atlantic crossing, that's like 3,000 kilometers. And if you take the distance from America to Iran, so from Washington, D.C., or is it just Washington now? So from Washington to Tehran, it's about 10,000 kilometers, I think. 10,163 kilometers distance from Tehran to Washington.
They usually fly round trip from Whiteman. And so what we can say, and the president said this in his Truth Social post, is that a full payload of bombs, those massive ordnance penetrators, the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs, were dropped at Furdow. And as we have reported, there are two entrances to Furdow. So at least two bombs at each two entrances, which suggests at least two B-2s were involved over Furdow. My suspicion is that there were more. And then you have the two other sites. Natanz, which is also has an underground enrichment facility. The Israelis had not been able to reach or take out that facility despite the last 10 days of bombing. And so now U.S. warplanes, likely another B-2 bomber, had dropped that MOP, the 30,000-pound bunker buster, on Natanz. And then you also have Isfahan, a third site south of Tehran. And that is also a very significant enrichment facility. So those B-2 bombers, it's possible that as everybody was looking west for the B-2s flying towards Guam, that in fact there was another package of squadron of B-2s that were flying east from Whiteman. It's about a 15-hour trip from Whiteman in Missouri to the Middle East, to Iran.
So the distance from Tehran to Missouri, 10,980 kilometers. Yeah. So that was a really serious deception that was carried out by the Americans. Look at this. Ma'am, the point is that real Donald Trump is following the way of Narendra Modi, a new normal to deceive the enemy. On 7th May, we were told to prepare for mock drill, and Operation Sindoor happened. Similarly, exactly, there was just all of this news about mock drills that were going to happen just on May 7th. And then in the night of May 7th, we had Operation Sindoor. So similarly, the Americans, they said no action for 2 weeks. And now we see what they have done. Bravo, America, bravo. And this is Benjamin Netanyahu. Let's hear what he had to say. President Trump and I often say peace through strength. First comes strength, then comes peace. And tonight, real Donald Trump and the United States acted with a lot of strength.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities with the awesome and righteous might of the United States will change history. In Operation Rising Lion, Israel has done truly amazing things. But in tonight's action against Iran's nuclear facilities, America has been truly unsurpassed. It has done what no other country on earth could do. History will record that President Trump acted to deny the world's most dangerous regime the world's most dangerous weapons. His leadership today has created a pivot of history that can help lead the Middle East and beyond to a future of prosperity and peace.
And I am sure that Trump and the Israeli government, they're going to build Trump towers in Gaza. Definitely, I'm sure. So here, Charlie Kirk says, Barack Obama, we don't need 4 more years of chaos. I agree. Let's get Trump back so we can have peace in Ukraine, Israel, and the Middle East again. Yeah, I mean, in the previous governments, in the previous American governments, I mean, it's not my place to make any comments like that, but still, the previous uh, American governments, they were actively looking for war, I think, because obviously there are warmongers over there also who were earning a lot of profits, right? Uh, like, for instance, all the weapons manufacturers, whether you talk about Lockheed Martin or Halliburton or all of these, Boeing even. Uh, in fact, I think it was Dick Cheney who had, some kind of influence in the weapons business. Please, if there's anyone from America watching this, if anyone who has information about this, please let us know down in the comment below. What is this? Now is the time. Yeah, first you take out the opponent completely, and then you say you want peace. Peace. Zen. Yeah, so let's look at this. Remember how we got here. Hillary Clinton supplied Iran with uranium to enrich their nuclear program. Barack Obama gave Iran 1.7 billion that they used to fund their nuclear program. Joe Biden unfroze over $16 billion of funds for Iran. So don't even blame this on Trump. Nobody's blaming Trump. Man. Nobody's blaming Trump. Furdow was empty and abandoned. Great explanation of the consequences, dangerous consequences of America striking Iran's Furdow nuclear facility. This is very bad if Trump does this attack. Well, Trump already has done this attack, so let's just hear what they had to say.
What happens if the US targets Iran's Furdow enrichment facility? This wouldn't just be a military strike, but a very real risk of an unprecedented nuclear disaster in the Middle East. The Furdow facility lies south of the capital, Tehran, near the holy city of Qom. It's built under a mountain, more than 80 meters deep underground. It's here that Iran enriches uranium to high levels, up to 90%, which is close to the threshold required to produce a nuclear weapon. If this facility were bombed and the stored nuclear materials detonated, the consequences would be catastrophic. Within a 1 kilometer radius, radiation levels would be lethal within hours. Within 5 kilometers, people would experience severe radiation sickness, bleeding, vomiting, organ failure. Up to 20 kilometers away, increased risk of cancer, birth defects, and long-term contamination of water and soil. Tens of thousands could be forced to evacuate for years. And the worst part? Winds could carry radioactive dust to Qom, Tehran, and even neighboring countries. If such an attack occurred, Iran would likely consider it a declaration of war and could retaliate by launching hundreds or even thousands of missiles at Israel.
Yeah, whatever these guys were saying over here.
Forced to evacuate for years. And the worst part? Winds could carry radioactive dust to Qom, Tehran, and even neighboring countries.
Okay, so this has not happened, right? So maybe this never would have happened. I mean, maybe they are just crying wolf. Who knows?
If such an attack occurred, Iran would likely consider it a declaration of war and could retaliate by launching hundreds or even thousands of missiles at Israel and America.
Iranians still have the capability of launching missiles at American bases and also at Israel. I don't know, maybe they do.
Bases. This wouldn't be a limited operation, but the start of a dangerous regional escalation. Is the world truly prepared to face such consequences?
This feels a lot of fear mongering going on because obviously America has already done the strike. The Russian response was also unique. Putin was asked why he is not assisting Iran. That's a diplomatic answer.
В Израиле проживает почти 2 миллиона человек, выходцев из бывшего Советского Союза и Российской Федерации. Это почти русскоговорящая страна сегодня. Вот.
So I didn't understand a word of what is being said, but Israel today is almost a Russian-speaking country. 2 million people from the Soviet Union and Russia lived there. We take that into account. So yeah, Russia's out of it. Russia is staying out of it. Okay, so Ayatollah Khomeini issues dire warning after US strikes, declaring the US entering war is 100% to its own detriment. The statement was posted moments ago on his official website, okay, signaling Tehran is preparing for escalation, okay.
The Americans, the ones who are very familiar with the political landscape of this region, they know that America's involvement in this case is 100% to its severe detriment. The extensive damage it will incur within this region will be far greater and more significant than any damage that Iran might possibly suffer. The Americans, the ones
Okay,
who
again, a lot of fear mongering going on. Maybe Iran still has the capability to strike USA and also Israel. I mean, not USA in America, but USA bases, American bases are out of it at least. Tehran could escalate, definitely. But then again, there's another bit of news that came out. This is also from OSINT. They say leaked footages from Khatam al Anbiya Hospital in Tehran reportedly shows guards tightly securing a private room with secrecy surrounding the patient's identity. Was it Khomeini? Or maybe some high up? Let's see the video once. Armed guards. These are all operators. It feels like a Godfather movie or something going on, right? What is this? Let's quickly have a look.
So anyway, guys, we are completely safe down here in this bunker. These motherfuckers can drop anything they want and they can't do shit to me. So we can just dance and party all night long down here, okay? What the hell? Okay,
What?
everybody, just remain calm, everybody. Remain calm, people. So anyway, guys, we are completely safe.
People are so fucking creative, no? Anyway, so let's see how the situation develops. This is what we have right now. And I'm sure there'll be more news coming out of Iran today. So watch this space.